Hey there everyone, User1 Campbell here, and welcome to the 7th episode of the Rider of Chaos Q&A series. It's been 5 fucking months since the last Q&A video. I am so sorry I have made you all wait for so long. I have had a lot of mental roadblocks being demotivated once more, or I simply forgot to record. Being real, these past 5 months have been nothing but awful. But, thankfully, I have remembered to do one of these. And so, time for the questions of this month's Q&A. AdsSilverthehedgehogandlokifan asks, what is your favorite MCU movie from each phase so far? From Phase 1, it's Captain America the First Avenger. Phase 2, probably Iron Man 3. I would say Captain America the Winter Soldier, but that was around the time when I was binge-watching every MCU film I haven't seen when Phase 4 ended. And when I got around to Winter Soldier, I almost fell asleep. That's not the movie's fault because it wasn't boring, I was just overly tired around that time. If I give the film a second viewing sometime in the future, I would probably say that. For Phase 3, I'd probably say Avengers Endgame. It was pretty close between that movie and Infinity War. Phase 4 is easily Spider-Man No Way Home, which is not only my favorite film of Phase 4, but also one of my favorite movies of all time. Phase 5 was around the time when I just stopped watching the MCU, but I still catch up on it from time to time. I stopped watching after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, so I'm gonna say that by default, since the only one other MCU film I've seen from Phase 5 was Ant-Man and the Wasp's Quantumania, which was a mediocre film, but I didn't hate it like a lot of people did. Phase 6 so far only has the Fantastic Four First Steps, and I haven't seen that yet, unfortunately. Which game or games do you think should get a remaster? There's quite a lot, I'll be honest, so let me list this shit off. The Bouncer, God Hand, Xenosaga 1 through 3, Drakengard 1 through 3, Parasite Eve 1 through 3, though that would be really hard to do due to licensing issues. Skies of Arcadia, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, the Sonic Storybook games, Kid Icarus Uprising, Metroid Prime 2 and 3, Tales of the Abyss, and Tales of Xillia 2. There's probably a lot more, but those are the primary ones I'm thinking of. Who is your favorite singer or band? Honestly, it is none other than Amy Lee from Evanescence. She has a wonderful voice and every song she sings is lovely. What is the most memorable moment that you will always remember from 2025? Honestly, all of the good memories have been buried under so many bad memories. That's how much 2025 sucked in general for me. But if I had to choose at least something, I guess I'd probably say finally getting therapy, because I needed that for so long. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Hardhead Guy 42 asks, I only have one, and that is, what is the funniest glitch you have experienced with just casually playing through a game? There was this one glitch in Saints Row the Third where, to this day, I have no fucking idea how I triggered it. But if I could remember correctly, I was driving, I crashed, then for some unknown godforsaken reason, the car started spinning like a ballerina, and it went on for a while. It was so funny. Iumel asks, I hope I fucking pronounced that correctly, do you like RPGs? Yes, I do. They're actually my favorite video game genre. Would you like to see Senator Armstrong in Death Battle? And if you do, what's your thoughts on Senator Armstrong versus Funny Valentine? Honestly, yeah, I would like to see him be featured one day. As for the matchup, I don't really have much thoughts on it, other than I like it. Do you think Sonic Racing Crossworld is better than Mario Kart World? By default, yes, mainly because I don't own a Switch 2, and I don't know if anyone in my life IRL even owns a Switch 2, so I'd never played the game before. Despite what a lot of people say, however, Mario Kart World does look very intriguing. Do you watch anime? I do, yes, though I haven't seen as much as I used to in the past. I think the last anime I watched are Devil Survivor 2 The Animation, Gurren Lagann, and rewatching the first episode of Persona Trinity Soul with a friend. Mooniera asks, what is celebrating New Year's like for you? I don't really have a traditional New Year's celebration. I don't really celebrate it much at all, aside from saying Happy New Year's to many of my friends and family. But for celebrating 2025 to 2026, me, my dad, and one of my brothers were out in the backyard and set up a little fire while having some music playing in the background. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was a nice memory. Who's your favorite Vocaloid? Hatsune Miku. She even runs my PC. Riley asks, if you could have any blade from Xenoblade 2, who would you want? That would have to be Dahlia. If you could meet any voice actor, who would you choose? Alejandro Saab. I want to ask him the ultimate question, how the hell is he in everything? That and also have a couple conversations with him because he seems like a cool dude to just talk to and laugh with in general. What Final Fantasy member deserves more attention and why? I actually don't know if there's a specific character in the series that I think deserves more attention. Probably Kamari from Final Fantasy X, but even then I feel like the game gave him a decent amount of attention. Since you had played Persona 5 Royal, did you ever get a persona named Seth from the Twins Fusion Quest? If yes, what did you think of them? I did get Seth from the Twins Fusion Quest. Hell, Royal was the first Persona game where I actually finished the Velvet Room attendant Fusion Quest. As for Seth himself, I used him quite a lot in my Royal playthrough when I got him, and he's a pretty cool persona to use. The Vampire Gami asks, if you were to write a Day in the Limelight story about one of the non-main Legendverse characters, i.e. Noriaki, Twilight, or Stressor, which one would you focus on and why? So for those of you that don't know what a Day in the Limelight story is, Day in the Limelight is a story trope that gives a side character or characters chances to shine outside the main plot, having their own adventures separate from the main cast, or perhaps with them supporting the side character instead. And if I had to pick one for your side characters in the Legendverse, probably Maurice. For not really much of a reason other than the fact I just simply want to know more about him is all. What team-up or team-ups would you like to see involving my OCs? Doesn't have to be strictly limited to 2 Legendverse characters, sky's the limit here. First would be a team-up between Julius and Shadow the Hedgehog, second would be Lucian and Ruby Rose, third would be Maurice and Byleth, fourth would be Tresor and Alucard, and lastly, fuck it, Ryaki and Yoki Slime. I just think that'd be funny. And finally, the last set of questions come from XenoJamie 2003, who asked, what is the most underrated anime? Link Click. I fucking love that anime so much. Back in college, I was in a Mandarin class, and during some of the lessons in my last year, we watched the entirety of the first season of Link Click, and it is such a good-ass show. I haven't seen the second season yet, but I absolutely want to. But I might need to rewatch season 1 because I haven't watched it since my last year of college in 2022. This show needs more attention. Which franchise do you like more, Xenoblade, Sonic, or Persona? Despite how much I talk about 2 other franchises on here more, Xenoblade is surprisingly my favorite franchise of the 3. In fact, all 3 franchises are literally my top 3 favorite video game franchises of all time. And what boss battle frustrated you the most? Shadow Miyazawa from Persona 5 The Phantom X. A brutal fight that actively loves to waste time and turns hiding behind stuff in a game that has a turn limit in its battle system and has a ridiculous level recommendation that isn't even accurate. So you spend grinding your ass off for literal hours until you beat him. I know gacha bosses aren't the easiest bosses in the world, and I get that you have to grind in some instances to beat bosses, but Phantom X is one gacha game where grinding becomes more of a boring, frustrating experience than it is in most other gacha games. And that's all of the questions answered for today. Thank you all so much for participating in this episode of Provider of Chaos Q&A. Feel free to leave your questions for the next episode in the comment section down below, or in the community post I'll be making after this video releases, which will be linked in the description. Until then, I'm User1Campbell, and see you all next time.